Hi, this is Rob Warlow from Business Loan Services and welcome to episode 10 of the Friday Business Finance Bulletin, the first one of 2014. So I hope you had a great Christmas and New Year break and that, like everybody else, you're raring to go. Now, if this is the first time that you've come to this video, welcome. It's all about giving you tips and ideas and sharing some news that's going on in the business finance world. So let's crack straight on with it. Now, as I said, here we are at the beginning of 2014 and lots of surveys coming out about how positive business owners are feeling about this year. Surveys from Lloyds Bank and the Chamber of Commerce all showing that confidence levels are the highest they've been for some time. And let's hope that's you and that you're looking forward to a profitable 2014 and that those sales hold up and of course it translates into good profitable business. Now, as we talked about before, if 2014 is going to be a year of growth as people anticipate, all that's going to need finance. So that's what these videos are about, is to give you an idea of what you can do to increase your chances of getting that all too elusive yes. So what's caught my eye over the last 2 weeks or so? Well, the first thing that's caught my eye is that the government is obviously doing its best to try and encourage alternative lenders to get out there in front of small business owners to get the finance that they need. And the government's realised that the high street banks hold an awful lot of information about businesses, and the government now wants those banks to share that information with alternative lenders. Yes, they can go into the market and get some basic credit reports, but the banks hold an awful lot more information. So the government has come out with a consultation paper to ask banks to see what they can share and how they can share that information that they hold about you. So why should that be important to you? Well, I've mentioned in previous videos and blogs, especially if you're looking at the lower end of the borrowing scale, that banks and financiers do depend a lot on your credit record. So it's important now that if banks are going to be asked to share more information, it's even more important that you keep your bank account in good shape, no return checks or no bounce checks, that you keep all your loan repayments up to date. Because if alternative financiers, who are a good source for finance at the moment, are going to have access to that information, then you need to make sure that that information is as good as it can be. So just keep an eye on your bank account. So what about bank lending generally? Well, every month the Bank of England comes out with lending figures, and I've looked at them before, and the latest figures that have come out are for November 2013. And it was another headline grabbing number. It showed that the total stock or total amount of money outstanding in terms of loans and overdrafts fell by 4.7 billion in the month of November alone. Now, of course, that's enough to get everybody screaming that banks aren't lending money. Now, we talked about this before, and there's a key distinction here. That reduction is the end result. It's the net figure. It's the new money take away repayments made in that month. Now, in that month of November, when they had that huge fall, essentially what happened, businesses repaid more than they took out in the form of new loans. Now, you can say, well, it just means that banks aren't lending enough. Okay, yeah, get that. But the trend is showing that the amount of new money being lent is actually going up. And that figure is really stark when you look at the lower end of the market, the SME end of the lending market. We looked at the figures compared to November 2012, compared to November 2013, and there was an increase of 38% in the amount of new money lent out. So there's nearly a 40% increase in money lent out to SMEs between November 2012 and November 2013. That's a huge increase, and yet that's being overtaken by new money being, say, money paid back. So the message there is, banks are beginning to lend, the doors are beginning to open. We've talked before that many business owners just think that banks aren't going to lend, so hey, what's the point in going to ask? Well, those figures are showing money's being lent, and it's worth now getting in front of your bank managers, you plan for 2014, to see what you can get. Don't assume you're going to get a no. So what else? Well, over that New Year Christmas period, I released a new ebook, The Secrets of Writing a Killer Business Plan. I know many of you downloaded a copy, and thanks for that. It was a 103-page ebook. It was really the basis of my next book, but we've got a lot going on this year in business loan services, and I knew it was going to be a bit of a challenge, so I thought, hey, well, just put it out there. So if you haven't grabbed a copy yet, just send me an email, info@businessloanservices.com. and I'll send you the link as to how you can access that free ebook. It's a great read, especially as we're in the beginning of 2014 when planning is oh so important. So what's my tip for you this week? Well, it's really wrapped around the idea of looking at the risks within your business. Now, when banks are assessing your borrowing request, really what they're looking for are, what are the key risks here? What potentially could lead to this business not paying me back? And one of the key risks they look at is how diversified your client base is. Now, the importance of this really came home to me this week. I was looking at a release which came out which looked at a recent administration. Now, I'm based in South Wales, and there's a hotel which went into administration in November 2013, which is located just outside Cardiff Wells International Airport. Now, previously, that business was getting a large amount of its turnover from the car park concession. Now, the car parking company were offering packages. Park your car, and at the same time, we'll do you overnight accommodation before and after your flights. And obviously, they were referring an awful lot of business to this hotel. But it seems the majority of its turnover came from this car parking company. Well, guess what happened? Yet in 2013, in January 2013, the car parking company closed off, and so the large chunk of that hotel's business just literally disappeared overnight. It only survived for another 10, 11 months until November 2013, and then the company went down. So you can see the danger of being over-reliant on just one client. And this is one of the things that the bank are going to look for. And even if you're not borrowing money, you should be looking at this risk as well. Is a large percentage of your turnover just coming from a very small number of customers? And then you've got to ask the key question, what would happen if that customer walked away? There's an important question to ask, isn't it? Because look what happened to that business. So if you're looking to approach a bank for finance, just have a look at your client base. Are you well diversified? So there we are. Come to the end of our first episode for 2014. I hope you found that useful. As always, please feel free to get in touch or add any comments or share this video on social media if you found it useful. So that's it for this week. I hope you have a profitable and prosperous first week of business week of 2014, and I look forward to sharing more ideas and tips with you next Friday afternoon. Bye now.